Okay, we're going to try this. I'm going to set the stage. Okay. Yes. Thank you for your patience, Shireen. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Oh, that's a type of confirmation. It really is, you know, the synchronicities that are happening, all these subtle signs, right? That's what I think is odd, all the subtle signs. All right. I'm going to do this cleansing one more time. More synchronicities. More synchronicities. Okay. Let's see. I'm actually going to pull one card to start. Really? That's interesting considering the card that I got with him with fame. Fame and overreach. Yes. That's the question that we're going to pull. Coming to see you with a Queen of Pentacles. I'm going to go and pull. Hello, Poke. Right now, I am doing Charlie's reading. So, right now on my channel, whoever has the readings, we let them have the floor. So, coming to see you. Coming to see you. I have the Moon. I have Queen of Swords. You can direct him. He'll be looking, first of all, for direction, Charlie. I hope this is not like, almost feels like this is going into realms of too much information. But I'm going to go and do this for you, Charlie. First of all, he's going to seek direction. He's going to expect you to lead him. He's going to also look for the things that you say, the verbal and nonverbal cues. The verbal and nonverbal cues that would build up Charlie and give him the blueprint of how he should behave and what he should do. He won't want to disappoint. He has confidence that he won't disappoint. But perhaps the length of time that he could keep up each session, maybe he would have maybe he would think that he did, he has pretty good endurance, but maybe you would be less than slightly disappointed. We'll put it that way. Slightly disappointed. Coming on strong. But how strong could he keep up that cadence? Seven of Swords is the background energy. The moon gets helper. Definitely is going to want direction. It's going to want you to say very clearly how you'll I think he thinks that he would do a good job, but I think in reality, I don't think he would do that. No. And I think he starts off strong, and it's all about the beginning. All about the beginning. I think as well, you're going to be very kind to him. You would be very kind to him on, let's say, the hopes that you would like to go and have him last. And even though he wouldn't, I think you wouldn't really care. You wouldn't make that known. Maybe you would make it known. You think about it. Okay. So first of all, I'm still going to go and clarify, Charlie, this Nine of Pentacles. But first of all, what I have for you on your question, he's going to need direction. He would expect you to give direction, but I think you'd also have to go and give him direction. I think that if you allow him to take charge, Charlie, there's a whole lot of fumbling that's going to happen there. You're going to have to tell him clearly what it is he should do, what he shouldn't do, how you like it, how you dislike it. And then I think, Charlie, for some of his, he imagines himself to be a whole lot more than he actually is. I think the emotion is there with the moon. Definitely he has the emotionality there. He'll imagine the connection to be quite significant for him. But I think his actions, like, he'll have very grandiose ideas about what happened. And I think you're going to be there a little bit like, You're going to have to tell him what it is that he should do. And it's going to take time to get the experience or experiences that you'd want from him. I don't think the first time of dealing with him is going to be magic. I think it's going to take a couple of weeks. It's going to take some some guidance and some time for you to find the experience to your satisfaction. Let's go and say it that way. Find the experience to your satisfaction. I feel like he wouldn't last long. I think of this energy too. It's like his pretty, just to use the same phrase as a Libra called himself, pretty boy looks. You know, there's affection here, and therefore there's patience. And then you're going to have to exercise some patience in order to go and get the sort of experience you want from him. I think as well with thoughtful and crush, let me say in this energy, you notice Charlie too, all of a sudden, I did move to a different location, but you notice how all of a sudden it's not turning off anymore. It's not crashing. Just funny. But yeah, it's going to take more than one time to get what you want. It's going to take him knowing your likes and dislikes. You're also going to have to convey that in a way that won't crush him. And I do think there's a lot of attraction here that you'll have for him. You'll be thoughtful on how you'll guide him. It's not something that you're going to meet right away, and it's going to be magic for you. Perhaps magic for him, not exactly magic for you. Which could be a drag. Yes, he has good intentions. He has good intentions to do well, and he imagines himself to do well. But let's say when he looks in the mirror and he preens himself, and as he loves on himself, and that's what he does. He talks. He talks, but he doesn't act. He talks, he initiates, he can definitely go and get people all excited. But as the actions unfold, he peters out. So he's not all, somebody's face, etc. Attractiveness may not exactly compute. So I guess what I have here is he's not a natural stallion. Not a natural stallion, but he needs training. I think he can be trained, but I do think he talks too much. And I think that in order for you to have magic, it's going to take work. He thinks he's a stallion. They all think they're stallions. But I think, Charlie, when it comes up to actually evaluating the stallion capacity, I think he's going to start out impressive, and I think then it just all goes downhill. Or should I say it all goes down? You know what it could be too, looking at this this energy that I have here, Charlie? It could be that the anticipation is just really intimidating to him. And then he just sort of gets in his own mindset of, I'm great, I'm doing great, that you you think, what do they say? Like, can I say this? Yes. Yes. He needs time, first of all. I think as well for him to really do a good job, he needs to be comfortable with you. And he needs to be directed into what it is he should and should not do. I think that when it actually comes into performance, there's more than gymnastics. And there's more than just the, almost like, let's put it this way. If I was comparing this to food, this is like scarfing it down in 2 seconds, as opposed to you enjoy the presentation of the food. You enjoy how the food was assembled. You smell the food. Anyway, you get the idea. Yeah, and that's what he needs. He needs also too plenty of, I feel like, connections, like quality time. You need quality time. I think he also is, there's certain things that he won't do because he feels maybe I don't know, he's ashamed about some things, and he needs to go and just move past that. He is best, or the best type of partner, in a relationship, in a committed relationship, in an open relationship where you can freely go and say what you feel and how he should be. Perhaps in this energy, the first night would be magic to him, but it wouldn't be magic to you. And I think that the more that time goes by, the better the relationship gets, the better he'll get. In this energy, it feels like a month, 2 months. I mean, we have weeks under Queen of Swords. You know that Queen of Swords is very active energy. Queen of Swords is not a passive energy, unlike Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, those queens are passive. Queen of Swords is very active. Queen of Swords directs, shapes, molds. This is 2 weeks of directing. Weeks of directing, not just sitting there and going, oh, it'll get better. No, you have to like work him. Work him in a constructive way. So that's what I have initially for him. He's a lot of talk, but that's also because I think he gets caught up with the expectations of someone else. And I think if he thinks about the expectations of the partner, he kind of freezes. Trying to see if there's anything more. But I think that's the message there for how it would be, Charlie. It's a work in progress. So what do you think, Charlie? It's a different aspect on him. I do, of course, have the moon. I have Libra energy. I have Virgo energy. I do have light, which we could take as fire if we want to go and add some more things on here. But essentially what I have here is that he needs time to truly form a union. He needs time to unlock. That's what he needs. Also, too, there's something else I'm going to say here. Don't judge me. He needs time to pleasure himself. Some, I'm sorry. Some men, he needs time. He needs, I should just mute myself. But, I have ashamed here. I have positive. It's like, he's trying to go in forth ways of sex positivity, okay? Guys that talk a lot about sex usually aren't that good at it. That's why they talk about it. The foreplay literally is in the words. It's also in other places too, but with, yes. And I would say the more that he spends time, the more that would happen. But he definitely is, there's a couple things going on here. Like, seriously, he has a fear of commitment. Also, too, as I said, he needs, I'm going to laugh again. He needs time. And also, too, he needs to pledge. He needs to pledge himself. And not like another word, but the PLEDGE. He needs to pledge his heart. But yeah, he needs some time. He needs some time. I'm not going to say anything more. He needs some time. You know what? You need something that starts with a V too, that you get it at the drugstore. And it's not something that you ingest in pill form. It's the other thing. I'm sure he's got 3 bottles. I'm not kidding. I feel like for him to produce magic, he has to know you and he has to feel comfortable about you. I feel like he talks a really good game. And I feel like he has 3 bottles of Vaseline. That's what I feel. I feel like he has a lot. He has a steady supply of that. Is he? And I feel like he would be the best. He starts out strong. He He's not quite the stallion he puts himself out to be in reality. And you know what I think too? I think that he doesn't, you know what, this is, I think, the issue too with him. I think he doesn't realize that lovemaking is supposed to be about the both of you, not just him. And I think that that's why too he needs the time and the direction to form that connection for him to be open enough during the act that he is actually caring about the person he's with. Yes, I do. I remember that he did say that yeah, well, how can he get experience if he's doing everything his way for his gratification? That's why I think he could be there going, oh, I did it, you know, macho, whatever. You know, I'm the stallion, but I don't think that he produces magic. Yeah, I think so too. And I think that, Charlie, you'll have to tell him exactly what he needs to do. And you have to do it in a delicate manner. Because he is very fragile in this energy too. Like you could say the wrong thing and he'll just, you know, whether I say get cold, get shriveled, get smaller, get limp, whatever. You know, I'm not going to say all that, but you get the idea. You say the wrong thing to poke him and he'll just deflate. He really needs to be positive reinforcement. He needs to have connections, a really strong connection with you. Then he needs time to go and work on that. He also needs time to go and start, as I said before, energy. And he needs to pledge himself. You know what also too, Charlie, in this energy that I'm just picking up, and especially with the moon and helper and thoughtful, and the way that we do have all this really like, we have strong talking here. And the fact that he needs a lot of help. You know, I wonder if he has desensitized himself as well with all the talking that he does, and maybe what kind of media is he watching that that maybe he's also desensitized in that way. You know, if you watch too much porn, right? The porn addiction, you and if also too if you masturbate too much, etc. You aren't that good when it comes to the actual real situation. And I'm getting that sort of energy as well. Like he's been operating so much from his own self-gratification, and he's also been doing a lot of things it feels like solo. Yeah, and those two things do not lend itself to a virile lover. Those two things right then and there, with what he's watching and then what he does, and even the fact that he does his magic that way, when it actually comes to the real situation with a real partner, he has issues. He talks too much, and he does that too much. He's desensitizing himself to love with the conversation, the big talk that he does, with him doing, especially as I said, we got ritualistic ceremonial actions. He's definitely there working that thing. They are. Because again, all they just think that they have to do is just what they see. I'm not going to say on the TV, because we don't, that's not on the TV. What they do and what they see on their screen, and all of it is scripted anyway. It's not authentic. It also doesn't really build any real connections that should happen between people who are doing those things. I mean, you just don't go down theoretically and do that with everyone. It's not like eating something off of a roadside vendor. Some people do, but it's, the act itself it's life. Yeah, I say that during his ceremonial, his rituals, I do say he is doing that. And I do think he watches too much porn. And I think he uses his hands too much. He uses his hands and his imagination too much. He needs time to be. He needs time for it to be good. Would it be good at the first time? I doubt it'd be good at the second time. I doubt it'd be good after the first 2 weeks. He's going to need time. And you're going to have to go and handle that delicately. And you know what I think too? I think that with this, you can't make a big deal out of it. Like maybe too, you could just go and give him like some direction on what you like and how he should blah, blah, blah. But I feel like too, maybe you shouldn't really talk about this, but go off and do other activities and then see if the comfort of you guys interacting in other situations, non-sexual situations, makes him more comfortable to actually think of your satisfaction. Yeah, I think he does. I definitely think he does. But I think that he's been using it too much like a tool, and he's been desensitizing himself to it. Hello, P. Well, one would think if he is the lover he calls himself to be, he should again not think about what is purely best for him, but what you would like. However, I still feel like he would start out strong with everything he does, and I think it's literally the first part of the acts. I think as it gets to the 35% in, 45% in, the end, that's when it starts out strong and then it just peters out. Hello, P. I can read for you, but I would need a donation, either through Cash App or Buy Me a Coffee, which is in the description if you want to find the link to that. So that's what I have. And I feel like in actuality, he's rather clumsy. He'll get better with time. But it definitely wouldn't start out magic. It is. You have to go and train him, Charlie. That's the energy I have here. And then you need to go and not just train him, but then you need to go and also think about, as I said, those habits of his. I think, Charlie, you're going to have to go and take him out and have him do other things and also direct his conversation away from sexual innuendos, etc., because he uses that as a part of his sex act when he doesn't actually do anything. He just talks it like a cartoon. So I think that for the connection as well, you need to go and have out. And if he starts, talking the hot game or whatever, you could just say, yeah, save it, or show me, don't tell me. I mean, Charlie, I can fly in space too. Yes, that's what he's talking the talk. And then when he is essentially, what he comes from a base of is, again, his own satisfaction. And he doesn't want to think about the other one, because then perhaps he'll come into the reality of, oh, this wasn't exactly blah, blah, blah. You need to go and that's all he does, is talking the talk, and he plays a good game with himself. Well, he probably ultimately gets jealous too, because talking is a form, I'm not going to say this right, but you get the idea. Talking is a form of the act for him. Like, instead of kissing, or kissing's part of it, he's got the talk. The talk is just as real, just as large as doing anything. He would learn from you, Charlie. And you'd have to go and tell him exactly what it is. But you would learn from you. You'd have to go and tell him how you'd like it. And the question here is, especially in Queen of Swords energy, you're not going to be impressed. And this could possibly be, well, it could be a little boring for you. It's like you understand and you have empathy, but you're disappointed. You are going to work on the case. He requires work, and could be a little disappointing, a little boring. Charlie, I'll be back in 1 minute. I'm going to get some more water. Okay. Yes, I do think so. And then you know what else too? I'll say, Charlie, is thinking about the play of words that he likes to go and have. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. You can imagine the play of words on that. But these are the cards as well, just to recap for you from the moon messages. I have key and light, fiance and helper. You know, there is a possibility here, if you want it, as you know, something much greater coming out of the relationship. That's what I have for you. He knows because you're real. Also, that you'd be real with him. Keep in mind that energy from this morning, Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. Anyway, Charlie, that's the message that I have for you. I don't know what this green screen is. Keep on doing that. There we go. I think I have to push this a little closer. Yeah, the energy is there. The energy is definitely there. It's very concrete energy. Very passionate energy, very stable energy. All those cards are there. Charlie, I'm going to be back in 1 minute. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I am back. Thank you, Charlie. I am back now. If you're still there. What was the dream that you had, Charlie? Just since you said bringing out the best of him. Best friends and fiance is what I would definitely consider in a relationship, bringing out the best in someone else. And if anyone else has a question, of course, if you'd like to donate, I can go and explore your questions. Yes, the fiance part. You got fiance and best friend. I think so. Even the fact that you asked that question and the message I got back was time. For the most beautiful thing to happen between you, for the most beautiful thing for the connection there is actually the connection, a continual connection, a relationship. It's all significant. The main message of coming to see you. Especially with the moon. We just want to take also too the literal meanings that came out or the sub meanings. The moon being like right now, you feel drawn to one another to come and meet, but you're not quite sure the logistics of when. Thank you, Charlie. I feel a lot of things around me. Whether you call them spirits, whether you call them ancestors, whether you call them jinn, whether you call them fairies. I feel like I have lots of things around me. So for me, I'm very called to do this. Exactly, especially with the moon. There's the emotionality there. There's the magnetism, being drawn to the connection. But then there's still the uncertainty of how to make it all work. But the Queen of Swords is the well, I feel like both of our spirit guides calls us to meet. That's why I think initially because think about it, right? Of all the many people that are out there, all the many messages that are shared, all the different time zones, all the different locations, all the different subjects. Well, that could be something too that we can continue to explore. But all I know is, well, keep in mind for your own energy, you are that Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands. You call it and it comes, Shireen. That I think is the most important thing. And of course, remember, what you feel is legitimate. What you feel is accurate. What you feel is. Doesn't have to make sense. If you feel it, it is. Hell yeah. Yes, you are. And that's precisely why you have, for instance, that Libra around you. I would say, in the energy that I pulled, everything you feel is accurate. From what I felt, about you. I think that probably the issue that you have to think about or distance yourself from is trying to rationalize what you feel into what you hear or what you see from others. And keep in mind, that's just noise. Yeah, the only thing I can say about him is that he's a scared man who can't love. That's the only thing I can say about his energy. Very sad. The way he is right now, no growth. No possibility of growth. Yeah, he is. He really is. He's in a bad energy state, and he'll continue being in that bad energy state for a while. At least from what I see, I don't see any change in the. And it's going to take something for your ex, something really radical to shift him, because right now, he's just on that path. He did. And the sad thing is, he'll do it. He would do it again. If the whole thing was over, if he had time to go back, he would do the same thing again because he can't help himself. He doesn't know any other way but that. That's the sad part, too. I'm going to go and take a break for about 10 minutes. And I'll be back in a little bit.